Hello and welcome to part 3 of Deca Learns Rust by example. I've just noticed that I've actually misspelt Deca, 2 C's, typo more than anything, but that's fine. Change that now. So in this one we're talking about pre-formatted print, or formatted print rather. Let's just get it right. It's a lot of distraction today. So printing is handled by a series of macros defined in standard format, some of which include format macro that will write formatted text to string, print macro, same as format macro, but the text is printed to the console, iOS to the out. Print line macro, which is kind of what you've used to seeing from this. It's basically the same as print, but it adds a new line appended to the end. Then we have ePrint, which is the same as format, but the text is printed to the standard error. It's like error printing. Then we have the same again, that ePrint line macro, which is the same as ePrint, but it adds a new line to the end. It appends that. So all parse text, all of them parse text in the same fashion. A plus is that formatting correctness will be checked at compile time. So literally you'll be moaned at if it's incorrect. I'm not too sure, but yeah, these are, you'll be familiar with this if you're used to doing, say, C#. You'll have something like this, and then it'll format it where it'll insert this into where those curly braces are. In C# you can do like a dollar and actually put a variable name there to do the formatting. I'm not too sure whether you can or not in Rust. I may actually try that at some point. This actually is explained that without a suffix, 31 becomes I32, which is a type. So basically it's a signed integer, 32-bit integer. A U32 is an unsigned version, but we haven't really gone into types at the moment, so we'll leave that for now. Notice how they've got the zeros and the ones. 0 would be Alice and 1 would be Bob. So it goes Alice, this is Bob. Bob, this is Alice. That's what that would do. In fact, we're going to literally grab this, copy that. Let's get into Rust by example. Let's make a new thing. So cargo. Is it formatted print, isn't it? New formatted print binary. By the end of this, at least you'll know how to make a new project in binary format, I suppose. That was it. Right, so well, theoretically the first thing you would do is an initial commit. I have been kind of missing that out, but let's just do it. Git add dot. So we have a few tracked files there, which is fine. So git commit. Do an initial commit. This is before I've actually really done anything. It just gets it up to date. Right, so if I do code dot, we can work in this direction. For some reason I've still got some previous stuff open. Whoops. I forgot to close the previous folder, but no matter. Right, so let's go straight into the source code, and I'm going to swap this out with this one. So in this, like we said earlier, we should have like Alice being 0 and Bob being 1. So if I literally save this and run this, so I'll do a cargo run, which will build and run it, you'll note that it says Alice, this is Bob, Bob, this is Alice. Whatever is in here would be printed. You could do 23, that'll just say some nonsensical sort of stuff, but let's just do it anyway, just to explain that it just formats it however it wants to, and it'll be text. 23, this is Bob. Bob, this is 23. So it doesn't matter what you've got here. It can be an integer, it can be an actual. Oh, we haven't gone on to variables, so I'm not going to do that. Let's just do Dave. Dave, this is Bob. Bob, this is Dave. So it's simple. Hopefully you can understand the actual precedence of where we are in this, so we can just go along and do as many as we like. If I add another one, Steve, why not? It's moaning now because obviously it's never used. It's going, oh, we don't understand what you're talking about. Let's just put a 2 here. Now, in computing, usually we start from 0, so it's 0 index. So 0 is the first one, 1 would be the second one, and 2 would be the third one. So it's a little bit shifted over, but that's the way it works. You'll find the same in most, well, in all programming languages that I know of. So if I do a cargo run, we now have some slight differences. We have Dave, this is Bob. Steve, this is Dave. And we should probably do, and Bob, this is Steve. But that's fine. In fact, and Bob, this is Steve. That would actually do that. So I'll keep that in there for now. Some comments. Let's think. This will print the string literals. If I even spelled literals correctly. String data, just to be more concise. So the string data in formatted order. That'll do for that. Maybe a capital T. I don't know. Right. So that's pretty much how it formats things. You can do. There's quite a few other things you can do, but we'll read through this and go through it as we go. They could be named arguments, subject, verb, object. That's actually pretty cool because that kind of goes through an interesting subjective sort of thing what I was talking about. So let's copy that. So literally the same way I said about how you can with C#. The thing with C# is to do this you'd have had to have put a $. There. In this it looks like you just can do it. So it doesn't require any extra stuff. Subject, verb, object, even, object, what the hell. Now the thing is, this is correct grammar and correct syntax in the English language. Subject, verb, object, that's the way how we talk. The thing is, we can have the correct syntax, but, well, yeah. Would this be syntactically correct? Yeah, because the syntax would be subject, verb, object. Now, the actual language itself, though, if we said spoon, a verb, eats dog. Subject, let's have a look. The orange mallet is the subject of the thing. So if I put this, it will pretty much feel like a somewhat nonsensical thing. but let's just run it anyway and you'll see what I mean. This is all correct grammar and correct everything else. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The orange mallet eats dog spoon. Well, it might make some sense to someone. I'm not going to say it won't, but that it's not really very good grammar, is it, if you think about it? But it is a completely legal sentence in the English language. It's grammatically correct. So actually it's good grammar. Well, or would it be? No, it's syntactically correct. It's probably not grammatically correct. I mean, you would have a T there. You would have a capital D in dog, and probably spoon. I'm not too sure whether colour would have a capital or not these days. Colour would be a descriptive word, wouldn't it? So that's not really gonna. Mallet would probably have. So you'd have mallet, spoon, and dog would have capitals, and also the word the, because it's the start of the sentence. So shall we fix up the things here just to make it not necessarily make more sense, but at least it's got the correct capitalizations. So nouns having capitals, these are common nouns, so they may get away with it, but you will. No, actually, do all nouns need? My English is awful, but yeah. So that's basically how that works. You could mix these up. Let's take the verb. Even if we'd have said about dog and everything, this would make no sense whatsoever if we do the verb there. Let's save that and you'll see what I mean. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're 11 minutes in. This will have to end here. I'm going to do a two-part for this then, by looking at it at least. But let's... I've kind of had a bit more fun with this and gone through things. The orange mallet spoon eats dog. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense neither. But yeah, we're gonna commit this now. So if I just add all the stuff, clear that, do a. Why did I just do that? We got non-tracked files here, so git add dot git commit dash. This one we're going to call, actually what is it that I'm actually doing again? This one's formatted text, right? Formatted print. Part 1. Because there's going to be multiple commits on this then, we're using the same. Okay, did I actually close these off? No, apparently not. That'll do. Oh dear. That was a bit weird. So I must have had one of those closing. Yeah, it did. It just didn't show up. It just wanted to be awkward. Okay. So that's fully up to date. I'll see you in the next video then.